Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Right, so today was the day that the bill for the benefit cuts was put to the House of Commons, and it also explained a bit more detail what's going to happen, pretty much exactly as it was set out in the Green Paper. I'm going to read you an article where it goes into a bit more detail of it, but it looks as though it's going to be exactly the same as it was in the Green Paper. They haven't watered anything down. They've included the 13-week support once you lose PIP, but that's the only concession that they've really put into it. If you even want to call it a concession, it's not really. It's just delaying the inevitable, as far as I can see. Before I go any further, I just wanted to talk to you about the video I did yesterday when I was talking about the carers situation, the scheme whereby the council can pay you for being a carer. Now, I did ask for more information on this if anybody had it, and people in the comments have done so. I really do appreciate those giving us a bit more information about it. Also had someone who has previously worked in the local council dealing with this type of thing. They also emailed me a lot of information, so I thank you to them. I didn't ask them if I could give out their names, so I won't do it just for their safety. But they did tell me that you know, while this is a scheme that you can do, and I'm not saying that it isn't, you know, the person who made that video is absolutely right. This is a scheme that you can do. It may well earn you more money than you would get on carers allowance. However, there are a lot of steps to go. Each council has their own set of rules and regulations regarding it, and so, you know, it may be easier in some locations than others. You know, that there is obviously you are going to be self-employed, so there are of course the added complexities of that on top of everything else. I know this person also said that obviously you have to have a care plan in place. The government assess you, well, not government, the council assess you and assess your needs. So even though you think that the person you're caring for might need this and this in terms of support, the council will then assess you and assess them, and then say, well, actually, we're going to provide funding for this and this. So you might not get the total amount of funding that you're looking for. So there's a lot of grey areas on here, and but as I said, this is no disrespect to the person who made that video. I just wanted to make sure that people had full disclosure in terms of it. It is a way that you can do it. There have been people who have done it, but it is a very complicated process. So if you are thinking of doing this, do bear that in mind. So anyway, that's that out of the way. But anyway, let's have a look at this article, and I'll show you what it says. Right, government publishes flagship welfare reforms as Labour rebellion looms. The introduction of proposed legislation to reform the welfare system marks the moment we take the road of compassion, opportunity and dignity, the Work and Pensions Secretary said. I hardly think this is a road of compassion or dignity, but anyway. Liz Kendall's words come amid a backlash from some Labour MPs who have criticised the awful cuts to welfare, which the government hopes can save $5 billion a year. The reforms aimed at encouraging more people off sickness benefits and into work are set to include the tightening of criteria for personal independence payment, which is the main disability benefit, as well as a cut to the sickness-related element of universal credit and a delayed access to only those aged 22 and over. Ministers are likely to face a common standoff with backbench Labour MPs over their plans, with dozens of them last month saying the proposals were impossible to support. In what could have been seen as an attempt to head off some opposition, the legislation known as the Universal Credit and Personal Independence Payment Bill will give existing claimants a 13-week period of financial support, which is, as I said, just delaying the inevitable. The Department for Work and Pensions said this will apply to those affected by changes to the PIP daily living component, including those who lose their eligibility to carers allowance and the carers element of universal credit. Liz Kendall said, our social security system is at a crossroads. Unless we reform it, more people will be denied opportunities and it may not be there for those who need it. This legislation represents a new social contract and marks the moment we take the road of compassion, opportunity and dignity. I'm not even entirely sure that she knows what she's saying these days. This will give people peace of mind. I don't think so. While also fixing our broken social security system so it supports those who can work to do so while protecting those who cannot, putting welfare spending on a more sustainable path to unlock growth as part of our plan for change, which of course we know won't work, because this is something that is not going to get people back into work. It really isn't, and I don't understand why they think that it will. As the bill was formally introduced into the Commons on Wednesday and the question asked as to what the next date for debate will be, Labour backbencher and former Shadow Chancellor John McDowell could be heard to say never. A date has not yet been confirmed for it to be for the next debate. I will, of course, as I always do, leave a link to this article in the description so you can read through it all at your leisure. So as you can see, it's desperate times, really. Labour have said that they are prepared to punish the MPs who vote against the bill. Angela Rayner was standing in for Keir Starmer, and she said that, or not so many words anyway, said that the whip would be removed from anyone who voted against it, or at least she didn't confirm that that was going to happen, which is awful, really, when you can think about it, because, I mean, I know all parties have done it in the past. You know, they've tried to force their MPs into voting for certain things, but I just think as an MP, you're voted in by your constituents. You're not voted in by the party, you're voted in by the constituents, and you have to adhere to what they want. You know, the constituents, you know, in many cases there are thousands of people who are claiming PIP in constituencies, and if they vote for these cuts, they're going to force those people, or a vast majority of them, into poverty. And then how are they going to be able to then look at those people in the eye and say, yes, I'm sorry, I voted to take your support away from you? I mean, I don't understand how any MP can do that, really. You know, it's not what you call a tough choice. It's a choice that isn't necessary. But anyway, Private Eye apparently did a Freedom of Information request in which it was revealed that 2.69 million people claim PIP. 510,000 of those are working. But under this new 4-point rule that they're trying to bring in, 281,000 of those working people will lose their PIP. So that's around half of the people who are currently working and receiving PIP will lose their PIP, which means that they may not be able to work. So if you imagine that, that's 281,000 people that could potentially be out of the job market. And that's just... You know, that's just by implementing this 4-point rule. So I really don't understand why the government are doing this. Well, I do understand it, but I'm not going to say it on YouTube because I'll probably get demonetized. But yeah, so it's absolutely appalling, and I really don't see. You know, there are lots of MPs on X at the moment who Labour MPs who are still saying they're not going to vote for it, which is encouraging. They're saying there's about 40 MPs, well, that's what the government have said, but so that's a bit short of the 170 that we have been told about. But maybe there are some who aren't publicly saying they're not going to vote for it, but may well not vote for it when the time comes. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed, keep campaigning, keep writing to your MP, even if they haven't replied to you, to keep doing it. You know, keep pushing them into making this tough decision, as they call it, which isn't very tough, to be fair. And hopefully, when the time comes for the vote, it will go in the way of sensibility and the greater good, shall we say. But anyway, that's how it stands at the moment. Please do subscribe to keep up to date with what's going to happen before the vote happens, and also to help push this channel forward. And until next time, I'll see you then.